Hello students, I hope that everyone is fine. So now we are going to continue with the chapter electrolysis, and today we are going to look at some of the examples of electrolysis. The first example which we are observing is electrolysis of copper sulfate solution using copper electrode. As I discussed earlier, in this particular section which I am going to teach today, you have to remember the name of the electrodes, like what is the material of which the electrode is made, the name of the electrolyte, and the reaction at cathode and the reaction as anode. Those are the important things which you need to learn. Therefore, you can take the snapshot of these slides and you can keep it for revision. Now here you can see we are doing electrolysis of copper sulfate solution using copper electrodes. Here the electrolyte used is aqueous solution of copper sulfate acidified with a small quantity of sulfuric acid. Why I am using acidified copper sulfate solution? Because acid increases the ionization power of copper sulfate solution. The electrodes used here both cathode and anode. Please remember, cathode and anode. Copper is material used for cathode as well as anode. The electrolytic cell is a glass vessel. A direct current of 3 amperes is used in this electrolysis. In this electrolysis, you can clearly see ions present will be copper ion, hydrogen ion, sulfate ion, and hydroxyl ion. Just to make you understand from where I got this ion, copper sulfate on ionization produces copper plus 2 ion plus SO4 minus 2 ion. At the same time, sulfuric acid S2SO4 on ionization produces 2H plus ion plus SO4 minus 2 ion. And as this is an aqueous solution, ionization of water will also take place at H2O, H plus and OH minus. Please remember the concept of selective discharge. Out of copper and hydrogen, copper will be deposited at the electrode. The reason being, copper is occupying lower position than hydrogen in the electrochemical series. The series which we done in the last lecture. If you remember, potassium at the top and platinum at the bottom. The series was potassium, calcium, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, nickel, lead, hydrogen, copper, silver, gold, platinum. And as I read right now the electrochemical series, you can clearly see hydrogen is above copper in the electrochemical series. Therefore, among hydrogen and copper, copper will be deposited. And among sulfate and hydroxide ion, the hydroxide ion will be deposited because it is lower than sulfate ion in the electrochemical series. Now the reaction at cathode. If you can see in the presentation I have given you, at cathode, copper plus 2 ion gains 2 electron and becomes copper metal, which gets deposited at cathode. Where does this 2 electron come from? These 2 electrons which I am talking about, where does it come from? Copper at anode. As we are doing electrolysis, the electrolytic solution, that is copper sulfate, will get ionized. But the number of ions moving towards cathode will be equal to the number of ions moving out from anode. So when copper metal from anode gets dissolved in the solution, it will give out 2 electrons, and these 2 electrons will be utilized by copper ions at cathode. So once the process of electrolysis starts, the anode will start becoming thinner and the cathode will start becoming thicker because of the deposition of copper ion. So here we can conclude, at cathode both copper and hydrogen ions migrate towards the cathode on switching the current, but it is the copper ions that are discharged on the cathode because copper ions are below hydrogen ions in the electrochemical series. Thus you can see a reddish brown deposit at cathode which is of copper. Reaction at anode, both hydroxyl ion and sulfate ion migrate towards the anode, but none of these ions gets discharged because copper anode itself goes into solution releasing electrons. The second reaction, if you see, it is given Cu minus 2 electrons will give you Cu plus 2 ion. The blue color intensity of copper sulfate solution remains unchanged during electrolysis because as many copper plus 2 ions are discharged at cathode, the same number of copper plus 2 ions are formed due to dissolving of copper anode. Please remember, it may be asked in the examination for 1 mark. During electrolysis of acidified copper sulfate, the color of the solution remains unchanged. Your reason should be, it is mentioned in the screen if you see, for every copper ion discharged at the cathode as neutral copper atom, a copper ion is added to the solution at anode. Hence the total number of copper ions remains same, and so color of the solution remains unchanged. Now let's take the other example of electrolysis of molten lead bromide. Now as you are using molten lead bromide, because solid lead bromide is a bad conductor of electricity, therefore what you will be doing is you will be using molten lead bromide. In case of molten lead bromide, at cathode Pb plus 2 ion gain electron from electrodes to become lead atom. At the same time, Pb plus 2 ions have been discharged and molten grains globules of lead metal are formed below the electrolyte. Electrode reaction at cathode will be Pb plus 2 electrons will give you Pb metal, that is lead metal. At anode, Br minus ion lose electron to electrode to become bromine molecule. Bromine are oxidized because loss of electrons takes place. Bromine atom combines to form bromine molecule, forming an effervescence of pungent red-brown bromine gas. Now please remember, this red-brown color is specifically used for bromine. Here the electrolyte which we have used is lead bromide, that is PbR2. The electrolytic cell which we are using, it is a crucible made up of silica because silica is non-reactive and can withstand high temperature and is a non-conductor of electricity. The electrodes which are used, both cathode and anode, are made up of graphite plates. Why graphite? Because graphite is an inert electrode and it does not get affected by the bromine vapors. The two electrodes are connected with the two terminals of a battery by copper wire. For this particular electrolysis of lead bromide, we have to maintain a temperature of 380 degrees Celsius. Because the melting point of lead bromide is 380 degrees Celsius, this temperature is maintained by heating the crucible. A direct current of 3 amperes is applied. The dissociation reaction will be PbBr2 at 380 degrees Celsius will give me Pb plus 2 plus 2Br minus. Please remember, this bromine ions Br plus Br will give me Br2, that is bromine gas. Bromine is diatomic in nature. So I hope students, now you are able to recall and recollect the process of electrolysis. We have done 2 examples till now. First one was electrolysis of acidated copper sulfate solution. Second one was electrolysis of molten lead bromide solution. Now the third example which I am taking, it is electrolysis of copper sulfate solution using inert electrode. Now if you remember, in case of electrolysis of copper sulfate or acidated copper sulfate using copper electrode, we were releasing copper ions from anode and we were depositing copper ions at cathode. Here what we are doing is we are using an inert electrode, that is platinum. So how many feel that there will be a difference in the electrolysis? Definitely the result would remain the same, but here there would be a difference in the reaction which is carried out. Now the electrolyte which is used in this particular electrolysis is saturated solution of copper sulfate prepared in distilled water. The solution is acidified by adding some sulfuric acid to increase electrical conductance of the solution and to prevent hydrolysis of copper sulfate into a precipitate of copper hydroxide. Please remember, this is very important. The acid which is added prevents the precipitation of copper sulfate into copper hydroxide. The electrodes which we are using in this particular electrolysis is platinum strips. They are used as cathode and anode. The electrolytic cell is made up of glass. A current of 3 amperes is applied. Now here again the ionization will be, the first reaction will be copper sulfate, that is CuSO4 will ionize to give you Cu plus 2 ion plus SO4 minus 2 ion. At the same time sulfuric acid H2SO4 will give me 2H plus ion plus SO4 minus 2 ion. And water on dissociation will produce H plus ion plus OH minus ion. And as per the preferential discharge, copper ions will get deposited at cathode and form reddish brown layer of copper. And at anode, your hydroxide ion will get discharged. Please remember, when you are using copper electrodes, at anode, copper ions were formed, and at cathode, copper ions were deposited. But in this reaction, as you are using an inert electrode, copper ions will get deposited at cathode by the process of reduction, because copper ions will be gaining electrons, and gain of electron is nothing but reduction. So the reaction at cathode will be Cu plus 2 ion plus 2 electron will give you copper solid, which is reddish brown solid. At anode, 4 hydroxide ion will donate 4 electrons. So I am using 4 hydroxide ion because 2OH plus 2OH will give you 2H2O, that is water molecule, plus oxygen gas is liberated. And please remember students, as copper ions which are blue in color are being discharged at cathode, their concentration in the solution decreases. Therefore, the blue color of the solution progressively fades and the solution will become colorless when all the copper ions are discharged at cathode. So you can remember, if you are using copper electrode, the color of the solution does not fade. But if you are using platinum electrode, that is the inert electrode, the color of the solution fades. I hope students the concept is clear to you. Now let's take some of the application of electrolysis. Where is electrolysis used in our day-to-day life? Now there are many technical and industrial applications of electrolysis. Out of these, 3 important applications of electrolysis are: first one is extraction of metal, that is also called as electrometallurgy. In the next lesson, I am going to teach you about metallurgy, where I will be teaching you this part, electrometallurgy. Electrolytic refining of metals, that is electro refining, again that will be again considered in your 7th lesson. And the next one is electroplating. So here my first concept would be electroplating, because the 2 concepts which are the first 2 concepts are also there in 7th lesson. I'll be doing a part of it here, and then again I'll be re-revising the things in the next lesson. So what actually electroplating is? Now we have heard about 2 gram gold, 5 gram gold, 10 gram gold. What does it mean? Is the weight of the ornament 2 gram or 5 gram? No, my dear students. The fact is, when I say 2 gram gold, that means the entire ornament is electroplated by using 2 gram of electrolyte having gold ion. If I say 5 gram gold, that means I have electroplated the jewelry with the help of 5 gram electrolyte. That means the amount of gold in that electrolyte is 5 gram, which is completely deposited on the jewelry. So from this, in short, we can conclude that electroplating is the electrolytic process of depositing a superior metal like nickel, silver, chromium, gold on the surface of a base or lesser metal or article. Example, iron, copper, brass. If you have seen the artificial jewelry, which we call as the artificial jewelry is either made up of copper or brass, and we electroplate them with silver or gold. Therefore, they are much cheaper and by the process of electroplating, the layer which is formed is quite stable. Now, what are the reasons for electroplating? First one is electroplating prevents corrosion or rusting of the base metal. Like if I want to prepare a ladder in my home for a duplex flat, I'll be using iron for the construction of staircase because iron is a strong metal and is cheaper than aluminium or any other metal. Because if I use brass or copper, that will be much costlier and I may not afford it. So I'll be using an iron ladder, but what I will do is I will electroplate the iron ladder with either copper or nickel or silver to make it decorative. Now if I electroplate the ladder with silver, that will make the ladder more attractive. That's the second point. Electroplating makes the article attractive and give it an expensive appearance. You may feel that my ladder is completely made up of silver. Now, what are the various conditions for electroplating? So here we'll be discussing the condition along with the reason for that condition being maintained. The first one is cathode is used for the articles to be electroplated. Reason is metals are always deposited at the cathode. Now cathode, please remember, it is the negative terminal of the battery. And cations are positive, that is metallic ions. Anode, the metal to be plated on the article is to be replaced periodically. Why? Because if suppose in the electrolysis of copper sulfate, which we did right now, copper ions are coming out from anode. So slowly and gradually the anode will get depleted as copper ions are moving out of the anode. The reason is metal anode continuously dissolves as ions in the solution. Please remember, inert electrode will have no depletion, so inert electrodes need not to be replaced from time to time. But if you are using the electrode which has same ion as the electrolyte which is being deposited, you have to replace anode from time to time. In metallurgy also we will be doing the extraction of aluminium, where we will understand why we are replacing the graphite electrode, which is an inert electrode, from time to time. Please remember that question. That question is really important. In electrolysis of aluminium, why do we replace anode from time to time? Now here, a low current for a longer time is passed. See, please remember, we cannot use high current for a smaller time. We have to use a low current for a longer time, because as higher current leads to fast and uneven deposition of ions of the metal on the article. Therefore, for uniform deposition, we have to use low current for a longer time. Electrolyte which is used must contain ions of the metal used for electroplating. Like suppose if I want to do a gold electroplating, the electrolyte should have gold ions. If I want to do silver electroplating, the electrolyte must have silver ions. If I want to do copper electroplating, the electrolyte must have copper ions, like we did in the example of copper sulfate. Electrolysis of copper sulfate, we use the electrolyte as copper sulfate, saturated solution of copper sulfate solution when we are using platinum electrodes, and acidified copper sulfate solution when we are using copper sulfate or copper electrodes. Sorry. Direct current is used, not AC current, as AC current causes discharge and ionization to alternate the cathode, thus giving no effective coating. We know AC current is an alternating current. After every half cycle, the polarity changes. Therefore, there will be no deposition of the ions on the cathode. I hope guys the things are clear. In the next section, we are going to conclude the lesson. We are going to take 2 or 3 examples, as well as I am going to discuss about the extraction of metal, that is electrometallurgy, and electrolytic refining of metal. Electrolytic refining means purification of metal in the next lecture. I hope that the things are clear. You are keeping in touch with your studies. You are maintaining your school notebook, whatever assignments have been given to you specifically for chemistry. Because once the school reopens, the second or the third day, I am going to take all the notebooks for correction and check what we have done during this pandemic time. Till that, students, stay safe, stay blessed, help your parents, and enjoy the learning. Thank you. Have a great day.